So we're going to look at a modification to the single arm lateral raise variation with the cable, and there's a couple of reasons why we do this. Now you'll notice with Charlie here that we've cuffed him just above the elbow here. Now the reason why we do that is it's two reasons. One, it reduces what we call the moment arm, which means that it's going to reduce the overall torque demands required from the shoulder. Now, there's two implications to this. One, it means we obviously have to make sure that we increase the load to then match that, because that's just pretty much the same as if we were to move the back down here and half the load. It's exactly the same. So we need to make sure that the moment arm length versus weight used is equivalent. Now, the reason why we would do this is, say you've maybe got some shoulder issues or some shoulder niggles. It reduces what we call shearing forces in the shoulder. So this can really help if you've got a lot of niggles or you're maybe just struggling to do shoulder work pain-free at the moment. This can be a really nice, either regression, or it can be something you use as part of a bit of a mechanical drop set, or to kind of round out a really well-rounded shoulder program. So from an execution standpoint, we have to also bear in mind that because the point of application of the cuff is higher than it would be at the wrist, we need to make sure that the cable comes up to accommodate that in terms of the amount of resistance you want at whichever point in the movement. Now, we talked about in the past, where you position this is going to determine where this is going to be the most challenging. We've set this up to have a fairly congruent profile though. So Charlie's going to then hold on to the handle here, so he's got his stability and support. He's got a slight bit of hip hinge here. And from there, he's going to think about keeping that upper arm in the scapular plane. He's going to think about abducting maximally to the side first, and then when he can no longer go to the side, he's then going to elevate. He's going to allow that scapula to essentially upwardly rotate around the rib cage, and that's going to allow us to get that medial delt truly short. A common mistake you'll see people do is they kind of stop at the shoulder height because they're told they shouldn't use the upper trap, and that's a massive mistake. This has a synergistic role in this movement, so we want to make sure that we let that shoulder move and we allow ourselves to get that medial delt fully short. Now, of course, things we will see is people using excessive momentum. Yep. And also for this movement, we'll see people stop a bit short because they'll almost treat it like, well, it's a lateral raise, I stop short here, but we've got to remember that gravity is no longer the thing we're fighting against. We can afford to bring this right into the side of the torso because the cable is now the thing that we're acting against, so you can afford to get this actually closer to a bit more of a length and range. So a couple more good reps. He's going to control those endpoints, slow here, contract into the cuff, wide as long as possible, elevate to finish, contracting hard, and then controlling that eccentric last one.